My short stories are very much about the here and now, mostly set in London, and I guess I quite like writing about problems, problems in all sorts of forms, some with a slightly surreal edge. I'm going to read a bit from the last story in the book, which is one of the longer ones, called The Rats and the Rabbits. So Jeremy, the main character, he is having a relationship with a married woman, and he found out she was married because he Google stalked her. And he, one weekend, is trying to get up the courage to tell her that he knows that she's married. Meanwhile, he's going through a pretty bad depression, so he's in therapy. And I enjoyed writing the therapy scenes because you're not really supposed to know what conversations go on in somebody's therapy session. So I'll go in on one of the therapy sessions. But you fear intimacy. Glenn announced this in one of their early sessions. Jeremy laughed until his laughter faded and he realized Glenn was looking at him but wasn't going to speak until he did. I don't. I want it more than anything. Sure you want it, but something stops you. You get involved, but only so far. No moving in with Alice or Greta, despite both of them wanting that after 3 or 4 years at peace with you. You don't have to move in with someone to be committed to them, to show love. I mean, if you don't have a family together. Jeremy found his voice rising. Sure, but I'm interested in how that choice of not moving in together and all that living together might imply or lead to could apply to my suggestion that you fear intimacy. After the impasse reached with each of them, you saw both women less and less, and eventually the relationships petered out, despite the considerable time invested by all. The other women you felt what you call real passion for have all been unavailable. These are the facts. The question is, what do you make of them? Marguerite wasn't with anyone else. Glenn narrowed his eyes. As far as you know. She wasn't. Even if she wasn't, she was based in Singapore and she didn't come over to Europe every month like she said she would. Unavailable doesn't have to mean another person is involved. Well, in the end, she couldn't come over. Her work schedule wouldn't allow it. It's a choice, isn't it? She chose her work over you. So she's supposed to leave her job for me? She was on a highly transferable career track. Accountant for an international insurance firm, right? 3 languages? Big 4 trained? Jeremy blinked and nodded. He wondered how Glenn rattled off all these details. The man had a full caseload and didn't take a single note. I'm not saying she should have left Singapore. I'm also not saying you don't deserve that kind of sacrifice. We're not questioning your worth as a person for whom other people may or may not move continents, Glenn continued.